Today, the topic I want to talk about is unconscious reactions. And we get tempted every second of every day. And it comes from our family, friends, thought loops, and triggers. It's kind of hard, though, remaining in a state of consciousness where we're aware of every thought, every step, everything we do. Because it's so easy to get pulled down back into mind. And it's so easier to live in a state of unconsciousness than consciousness when we've been used to living in a state of unconsciousness for so long. And the reason it's so easy to fall back into it is because everybody's suffering from it and everybody is living in a state of unconsciousness. They're identified with every thought they think. And they're identified with every feeling they feel, and they're identified with every perception or position they have. And that leads to, thoughts of feeling bad and feeling bad, Like it really leads to all sadness and like negative emotions. And I don't even want to label them negative because the mind would just really view them as negative, not knowing that's basically the mind. That's basically the body telling us, hey, check this out, review this and see if this is actually correct. Instead of withdrawing from it and resisting the negative emotions, I think we should, be with them. Triggers, right? Triggers happen all the time, especially if you live with your family, The day you tell yourself, I'm going to remain conscious, aware, and on top of things, it's where like the universe tells you or sends you every challenge they can. It's like when you say you're going to be more loving, the universe is going to send you people that need love, like people that's difficult to deal with, almost telling you like, here, love this person. And realizing that the people that are like that, or like, they're hard to love, are the people that need it the most. Back to what I was saying though, in regards to triggers. We should be in a state of like accepting the fact that we're in the position we are, and we're in the place where we need to be for the evolution of our consciousness, and take the challenge on. But why do we fall back into unconsciousness? We fall back into unconsciousness because deeply we're scared or we're so used to living in a state of unconsciousness that it's so easier to just stay there. But it's very tiring to stay there. You face the same consequences if you remain conscious, because if you remain conscious, you're not a victim of the world. If you remain conscious, you're monitoring your every thought, every feeling, and nothing is slipping by. Like even when you walk, you're aware of every step you take. You're present, you're here now, and you're not caught up in all the baggage of the world and all the, BS that's in this world. But our negative reactions to things, I think we should start there by realizing that triggers are not really triggers, They're triggers because we think about it like this. A trigger is an automatic response. Like as soon as something quote unquote triggers you, you automatically react, It's almost like you see how between my words there's a space. So between triggers, there's a small space, but the faster we identify with that thought or that trigger is the faster we act it out. So we have to get into the spot where we like create some space, between the trigger and our response. And between that space, there's the possibility of a new action or a new response, because you're present, And if you're present, there's no time to have anxiety, fear, or triggers, because you're not identified with your mind. You're not in the theater of the mind right now. You're as conscious awareness. And When we create that gap, a lot of possibilities open up because we're not in the subconscious program anymore. We're rewriting the program. And creating that space gives possibility to who you want to be. Not only that, but it's going to feel uncomfortable to choose a new reaction or action or response. Realize that when you react, you're reenacting something you did already. It's like you're acting a role that you don't even know you're getting, you don't even know you're acting out. Like, it's so you're so used to it that you believe it's you. You can't see yourself apart from this reaction you have towards something. So you rather call everybody out except tell yourself like, oh, I'm wrong and I'm the one getting triggered here. So let's pay attention to these triggers when they happen, what causes them, and how we feel when they happen. Who causes them? Have they happened before? Is it a repeating cycle? The universe is trying to tell you something, and it's telling you to change your reaction, But these triggers, right, also lead to thought loops. Like we end up thinking about it and maintaining that state of that trigger, where we feel bad for a while and we relive that experience of the trigger or what caused us to react a certain way. And it's a loop we could get out of if we create space and we become the witness. We witness all of this. We witness these unconscious reactions that we have, which are not serving us. It's like you're playing a video game and the whole time you think you're really the character acting out everything, not knowing that you're the one controlling everything. But it's hard to return to the controller because you've been in the game for so long. You've been believing you're every part of the game, not knowing that you have the power to return to you, return to who you are. A life lived by choice is a life of conscious action. Wait, let me say that again because this is important. A life lived by choice is a life of conscious action. A life lived by chance is a life of unconscious reaction. When you react, guys, is an action you taken before. All mine. The pre-sent moment, it was pre-sent to you. And it's a present, it's a gift. Gives chance to possibilities and a new fresh start, because if you're not cluttered with thoughts, you have the chance to act out whatever you want to, be or do. The soul creates, the mind reacts. The soul creates, the mind reacts. And it's fascinating when you get to experience, being in a state of just awareness, because you realize that, damn, I'm in this turmoil the whole day where like I feel stressed and like uneasy because I'm thinking all the time, And the problem is that when we try to become conscious, when we hang around friends as well, or family or whoever we're close to, it's almost like our automatic mind turns on and we act a certain way without even thinking, because we're so used to this person. We're two chess pieces, not chess, two puzzle pieces, and we just fit, We're in a flow state when we're talking. I can't even think. I can't even, it's just joke around, this, that, and the third, and we're going with our day. We basically, we're literally stuck in that state of and they bring us down to that spot where we become unconscious again because we're acting out what the mind remembers. So we're reacting the whole experience of being with them. We're not directly being present. We're not, really there and now. And it's so easy to come down because everybody is in a state of mind. Like they're in a state of identification with thought. So like, even when people create problems for themselves and you realize, you see that as all mine, you're like, man, they're really identified with their mind and they don't see it. it sometimes comes through your back door, and then you end up identifying with a problem or, a situation your mind created. And then you find yourself in the same spot you were in before. And it's almost like you feel like you're in a loop of conscious and unconscious. But I think meditating every day is essential if you're incorporating this into your life, because you have to if you experience chatter every day in your mind, you got to experience the stillness you have within yourself, so you will never forget who you are. You got to walk in stillness, be in stillness, and come from stillness. A life lived by choice is a life of conscious action. A life lived by chance is a life of unconscious reaction. Stop being unconscious. You're not a program, even though you run like a program when you don't know it. But the mind has to take a seat and become the servant. You're the master, letting the servant control you and dictate your outcomes. Come from a place of stillness within yourself, so your ideas could become clearer and you could become clear. Let the mud settle down. Let the water be still and become who you are now. Why? Because you only live once. You only remember this life. You don't remember the past lives you lived. So the moment is now to take yourself serious and realize that porn, addictions, social media, any sort of pleasure that you think is going to fulfill you, realize how you feel afterwards. It's almost like, hey, I'm back. I got to make a choice again. Am I going to take more drugs, or am I going to take this serious and be conscious and be with myself? You have to choose, You have to have faith in yourself and like an open heart and not care what your mind and body does, even though they act out something else from the truth. It's like you're aware and conscious, and then your mind wants to do this, and then your body wants to do that, and you're like, wait, but if the universe put me here for a reason, and I'm conscious awareness, and I'm the universe itself, I'm God, I'm connected to everything, why is everything leading me another way? Because you have to choose. You've been acting out something else your whole life. Your family, everybody around you has been acting out everything else but who you really are. So you have to embrace the fact that you're not always going to feel pushed, like you're not going to feel good in doing it right away, because your body's going to be like, hey man, where's the addictions, where's the stress, where's the thoughts, where's the problems? We got to get back to it. We haven't been on the clock for 2 days now, and it creates something out of thin air. And it's almost like, bro, I know I could have stayed aware. Become conscious of the unconscious. Because if you don't, you're going to call it fate at the end of the day. And you're going to think, things are just happening to you. And come from a place of love, heart, and spirit, Don't see people. See souls. See consciousness in them. And then deal with everything else. Become conscious. Be still, so you won't lose yourself in the world. And carry a note with you, maybe, Anything that helps. Love you guys. I'm out.